जय श्री राम फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम टू भारत मार्ग। वेलकम विनय जी, थैंक यू। हमसे जुड़ने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद और आभार। एंड दोस्तों, आज हमारा बहुत बड़ा डिस्कशन होने वाला है। ये है शॉकिंग, पोप स्टैंड्स विद टेरर एंड नॉट इजराइल। इसके बारे में बातचीत होगा। आप सबके लिए स्वागतम। प्लीज आस्क एनी क्वेश्चंस दैट यू हैव, गिव इनपुट एंड लेट्स जॉइन द कॉन्वर्सेशन. Before going further to Vinay ji, please make sure to like the video, friends, comment on the video, share the video with as many people as you can, because हम आपके मदद से ही ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोगों तक पहुंच पाएंगे। इसलिए आप जरूर इसको कमेंट करके शेयर कीजिएगा, हमें मदद कीजिए। और इसके अलावा दोस्तों, अगर अभी तक आप चैनल सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया भारत मार्ग को, प्लीज सब्सक्राइब द चैनल एंड ऑल्सो प्रेस द नोटिफिकेशन बेल, ताकि आपको मैसेज मिले, नोटिफिकेशन आए जब भी हम लाइव जाते हैं, ताकि आप आके हमसे कॉन्वर्सेशन में जुड़ सकें और भाग ले सकें। इसके अलावा हर दिन अपना सनातन का मैसेज आती है, उसको पाने के लिए बहुत सारा लैंग्वेजेस, इट कम्स इन मल्टीपल लैंग्वेजेस। यू कैन गेट इट by just sending a WhatsApp to +16479644790. Please send a WhatsApp with your name, where you are from, what language you want, और आपको सनातन का मैसेज मिलेगा, हर दिन का धार्मिक मैसेज, ताकि आप और आपका परिवार सनातन के जड़ से जुड़ के रह सकें। विनय जी, वेलकम वेलकम वेलकम।
Thank you.
You know, what is this? Pope stands with terror and not Israel. Okay, this is a shocking thing. And Israeli foreign minister blasts Vatican response to Hamas attack. बताइए क्या हो रहा है इधर? सब जब पूरा वेस्टर्न कंट्री से एक तरफ है, तो ये क्यों ऐसा बोल रहे हैं?
No, the thing about the general population is they don't understand, or they don't know the history of Israel and the history of Jewish people, the history of the Arab nations and the colonization that went on there and all that stuff. Okay, so let's go a little. I'm just going to spend like 30 seconds on that. Okay, I'm not sure if viewers, I really ask you to watch Netanyahu's, the Israeli head of state, prime minister, to kind of go over what he said. His video is probably about 3 or 4 minutes long. He says, I'm going to summarize the entire Israel history and Jewish history in this 4 minutes. So all he says is, Jewish are not somebody who just came into existence just about, few hundred years ago. Their
2000 years ago.
Several thousand years. Okay, 3,000 to 4,000 years ago, Jewish people came. And in fact, where they were there during the 10 Commandments of Moses. They were there during, Jesus Christ's birth, because Jesus himself was a Jewish person, and and Islam was not even born. Okay, when Jewish people were already 1,000, 2,000 years old. Okay, so that the community I'm talking about, and so Islam is a much newer religion, and then came along the Jewish have always had their base in that area where Israel is today. Okay, but it was a much bigger influence. They had much bigger influence in the today's Arabic world. Okay, the today's Arabic world, like going back a few hundred years ago, they basically started reducing the population of Jewish people. Jewish people were persecuted. Jewish people were targeted, and the Arab world basically started targeting these people and started reducing the population. Jewish people had nowhere, but they wanted to find rescue. Somewhere they wanted to kind of have some refuge in some other countries. So they probably, they ran away to Europe, they ran away to, later on to the Americas and stuff like that.
India.
And then the Arabic world basically took over that area and made it their own. So basically, what is it called? It's colonization, right? They basically colonized the whole area. And some of the Jews who were in that area, who decided that they're going to continue staying there and living there, they unfortunately came under the direct rule of these Arabic countries, right? And now what has happened after, like, and after the Second World War, or during, Israel was formed, and Israel was given a separate land, their own land. I mean, that actually belonged to them. It did not. They did not really. Somebody did not donate it. It was their own legacy. And United Kingdom, which owned the bulk of the area there, said, "Okay, Israel, this is going to be your land." But the problem was, when United Kingdom has always been known to create, you know, issues. When they left India after 175 years of rule, they created Pakistan, which is today big, big thorn in that whole region. Okay, and likewise, what they did was, rather than giving the entire, autonomy to Israel, they basically gave that. They said, okay, you control this. Then they created a strip along the like a no man's land, and called it Gaza Strip, that that's abuts the ocean. And basically, they said that, Israel is here, but Israel doesn't have direct access to the ocean, and now they have to go past the Gaza Strip, and Gaza Strip is kind of a disputed land, and they created a huge confusion and ruckus there. Okay, this is all creation of the British Empire, and today what is going on is, you also have to understand that the Pope, the reason he is upset, and he is not very completely in tune with Israel, although Israel was only recently recognized as a country by the Vatican. All these years they were not, like almost for 50 years they were not recognized as a country. And the reason is because of Jerusalem. Okay, most of the Christian missions, most of the Christian foundation, most of the Christians foundational churches, and all those, the birthplace of Jesus Christ, and all that is exists in the domain of Israel. Okay, now the problem was when the Vatican basically governs and controls all the churches across the globe. However, when it comes to Israel, Israel said, because this is under our domain, we control it. We will keep the autonomy of the Christian church. However, we control. So that is a big problem for the Vatican. Okay. So this is the reason Vatican is like, when this most recent Hamas and Israel conflict started just about a couple of weeks ago, Pope Francis said he deplores the desperate situation in Gaza, and he urged the faithful to take only one side in the Israel Hamas conflict, the side of peace. Okay. What does that mean? Like, I don't understand, because Israel has always said, like, look, guys, we want Palestine to live with us, Palestinians to live with us, Palestinians to be, co-inhabitants of that area, and all that. And it's just that we want our land. We want our land. You live peacefully, we live peacefully. However, the Arabic world and Palestinians, they don't want that. They keep blaming Israel as the colonizers, whereas I just told you a clear-cut history of what really happened. And it's unfortunate that Palestinians want Israel out of that region completely. They want to take
So
control of Israel.
let me ask you this. So it is only the Pope and the Vatican hate Israel, or it is the Catholics who hate Israel? Because Joe Biden is also a Catholic, right?
No,
And
no,
he
like
says,
it's mainly the Vatican, because it's the thing is I don't want to go into the general population of the Catholics, because when you look at all this conflicts and everything, right? It's typically the people are all, I'm okay with whatever, but it's always the politicians who kind of create all these
you
issues
call
and
Pope
stuff.
a politician?
I'm calling Pope a politician because he
Wow.
is a politician because he is the head of the state of Vatican. Okay, and he is like the president, prime minister, whatever you want to call him, king or whatever. And the funny thing about the Vatican's Pope, he is he continues to remain as the Pope, the head of state, till his death. Like it's like the king, it's like the monarch. Like the monarch can continue, continue like the Queen of England, for example, continued as the Queen of England till her death. Okay, so
Yeah, but
likewise, Pope
Charles
continued.
was lucky to get a chance.
Exactly. Poor guy. He was almost, going into retirement home. And last minute, when he was almost taking the bus on the way to retirement home, somebody called him, "Hey, your mom has passed away."
Forget about retirement
Yeah,
or
yeah. So
funeral
then
home.
he told the bus driver, "Hey, buddy, turn back. We're going back to the palace." So, so that's pretty much it. So I'm not saying anything bad about the Pope. Pope is a wonderful person and all that stuff. But the thing is, when you have to take a stance, you got to take a very clear stance. And I know his whole thing is about peace. I mean, I watched this movie about a little while ago. It was called Miscongeniality, and in that movie, it's all the contestants who are going in for Miss America contest, right? And the United States of America pageant for the beauty queen pageant, and everybody, whoever is participating, has to say one word. When the interviewer asks them, "What is the one thing that you want in this world?" and everybody has to say world peace. One girl, who is the heroine in the movie, says something totally different, and the whole crowd is shocked. And then everybody, "Oh my God, what did she say?" And then she says she realizes she has to continue because she's part of FBI and she's investigating a crime. So if they kick her out, then she won't be able to remain. So she said, "Okay, world peace, guys, world peace."
but let me ask you, Pope is a religious head, but I see very big similarity between Pope, okay, Pope और अपना जो कनाडा का पीएम है जस्टिन ट्रूडो, और कनाडा इंडिया का अपोजिशन लीडर है जो राहुल गांधी है, इन सब में एक समानता है. One day he talks about LGBTQ, one day he talks about transgender, one day he washes the feet. What the heck is happening? Yeah, means
it's a difficult
I
thing
mean,
to
confused, or my understanding is right, you think?
It's difficult to comment on that because his motto is world peace. Okay, like I just told you about this movie, right? So anything, anybody asks anything, he says world peace. That's it. Those are his two words. And so unfortunately, that's the way Vatican has always taken a stance on anything. They're pretty neutral on many of the things. But the thing is, in this case, he kind of sided the Palestinians when he said that, there have been way too many casualties in Palestine, and a lot of Palestinians are getting killed and all that. But he never for once mentioned that 1,400 people,
not people. Let's put it. Yeah, they have children, women.
Exactly.
Now they have a
1,400
hostage
people
of a
in Israel.
9 months old.
And also, you know what? I don't want to go into the gory details, but I'll just tell you that some of these were women who were raped. Some of these are kids who were mutilated, and people who were beheaded and dragged, and lit on fire alive.
Anyway,
These are
let's.
things that are unfortunate.
It's a very disgusting, and
Exactly.
that's how the Rakshas always did it. Rakshas ने
Exactly.
ऐसा ही किया है.
Yeah.
But
And also, sorry, one other thing is about 155 individuals, including children, were captured and are actually being captured as hostages in Palestine.
Yeah, including a 9-month-old. Including a 9-month-old.
Exactly.
ओके, तो ये बताइए विनय जी, आपने हिस्ट्री बहुत अच्छा हमें समझाए. मैं ये जानना चाहूंगा, ड्यूरिंग द होलोकॉस्ट, ओके, वेटिकन वाज हैप्पी, नॉट हैप्पी, व्हाट वाज द वेटिकन स्टैंड?
No,
against Jews.
During the Holocaust, they were against.
क्योंकि एक पुस्तक, एक रिसर्चर के हिसाब से, जो पुस्तक हिटलर पढ़ रहे थे, ओके, वो पुस्तक था वेटिकन वाला, which ranked Jews as way below the human grade. Jews
No.
and
I
the
mean, like,
black.
I'll give you a very. I mean, Holy See is what they call the Vatican, right?
Mhm.
So the Holy See and Israel relationships is was an existing indifference within Israeli society to Christianity in general. Jews who were converting to Christianity, okay, because they were being persecuted, so they just wanted to run away. Like they said, okay, guys, you want us to convert?
Like Hindus are converted. Like they will
Exactly.
do
So
anything to
they were
convert.
being
Yeah.
forced to convert because of the Christian missionaries and stuff like that. And Israelis, I mean, the Jewish people at the time were extremely mellow, and they were completely, they lived a very peaceful life, I should say. I mean, like, they were not the warrior kind, they were not the fighter kind or whatever. They were mainly, they were into farming, they were into, running their own synagogues and stuff like that. And these people who were converted, decided to convert to Christianity by force or whatever, they were considered traitors. And most Israeli Jews would refrain from sending their children to Christian schools, and which is contrary to the perception among Muslim families in Israel, who not only do not object to their children attending Christian schools, but even consider it a mark of excellence. That is the irony of it. Muslims are attending Christian schools, whereas Jews don't attend Christian schools because of all the persecution that has happened to them in the past. The Vatican, the Holy See, like I said, right, they did not recognize the Jewish people. They actually sided with the Germans, and that was the amount of, and they did not condone the persecution that went on, mass genocide that happened with the Jewish community,
Holocaust. Yeah.
the Holocaust.
Yeah. But, and I think they talk about love, मगर प्यार प्यार बोल के ऐसा ही नफरत फैला के रखते हैं. क्या बात
Yeah,
है ये
I mean,
तो.
like, things have changed. I mean, like, I'm not saying no, but it's like, today the Canadian Prime Minister keeps saying, oh, what happened to the native Indians here, and that's very sad. But it happened during his father's time.
ये वो तो बेचारा कुछ भी बोलेगा वोट के लिए.
Exactly.
Yeah. But let me ask you one last question. Okay, I'm done pretty much. But Joe Biden is a Catholic, right? Previously, they had animosity between Joe Biden and Netanyahu, which was very known. मगर ये fighting के बाद वो सब काज छोड़ के close आ गए. मतलब, how is the relationship between the Catholics and Jews? Do they see them as do they stand with
Well,
Israel or
today,
they stand with
today, like
Palestine?
I said, I keep telling you this, going back, the general population, whether it's Catholics or Jewish people, right? They live in harmony. There's no issue there. Okay. I mean, this is all politically motivated, politically created, situations, right? I mean, like, I'm just going back to one quick history. Until 1948, the Pope was motivated by the traditional Vatican opposition to Zionism, which is Jewish people. Okay. And Vatican opposition to a Jewish homeland stemmed largely from theological doctrines regarding Judaism. Okay. And people at the time, like the Vatican I'm talking about, they opposed a homeland for the Jewish people, although they know the Jewish history. And Vatican was extremely disturbed when the British decided to mandate the Holy Land to the Jewish people. Okay, they were like very upset. Okay, but it's unfortunate that this is the history between the Catholics, as you call it, or the head of the Catholics. Let me put it that way, and the Jewish people. So, but things have improved, and it took 50 years for for Vatican to recognize Israel as a state, and today there are, mostly the countries that do not recognize Israel are mostly the Arab world.
Wow. But it's very interesting for me to know that it is shocking for me to know the पोप जो हैं वो आतंक के साथ खड़े हैं, इजराइल के साथ नहीं, मगर ऐसा लगता है कि यू आर नॉट शॉक्ड बिकॉज दिस इज देयर हिस्ट्री. But anyway, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Vinay ji, for joining us and putting everything together in a very eloquent way, like you always do. Thank you again. Jai Shri Ram. We will see you again. Till
Thank
then, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Jai Jai Shri Ram.